Have you ever paid for an expensive primer that promised a filtered look? Then your makeup still got shiny or separated? Today, I am showing you a simple, affordable method using cornstarch and rosewater to get that soft focus finish. This is a makeup experiment, so if you have very sensitive skin, treat it like a patch test first. If you like practical beauty tips that actually explain the why, subscribe to the channel now. Please like this video so it reaches more people and share it with a friend who loves makeup hacks. Comment your skin type below and tell me what primers usually do for you, good or bad. Let's start with what primer is supposed to do in the first place. Most primers aim to control oil, smooth texture, help makeup grip, or change the finish. That filtered look usually comes from less shine and a more even surface under foundation. Many pricey primers blur with silicones, while others rely on powders that absorb oil. Cornstarch helps with oil control and a soft blur when you use the right amount. Rosewater helps everything melt together so it looks like skin, not dry powder. Here is why cornstarch can work. It absorbs excess oil that normally breaks down your base. When oil is controlled, foundation stays more even and pores look less noticeable. The biggest mistake is using too much cornstarch because it can look dry and pale. Your goal is a micro-thin veil, targeted, blended, and almost invisible. Now rosewater. Think of it as a light mist that helps powders and base fuse together. It can make the finish look smoother, softer, and more skin-like. Important note, rosewater is naturally fragranced, so sensitive skin should be careful. If you react to fragrance, you can swap rosewater for plain water in a fine mist bottle. Now let's go over what you need to do this the clean way. You need plain cornstarch with no added fragrance or mixed ingredients. Put a small amount into a clean, dry container that is only for makeup use. You need a fluffy brush for light powder application and a sponge for pressing. You need rosewater or plain water in a fine mist bottle, plus your usual base products. Please do not double dip tools into your kitchen cornstarch container. Apply powders carefully so you do not breathe in a big cloud near your nose and mouth. Keep brushes and sponges dry and clean so the powder applies evenly and does not clump. If you film or take photos, check the finish in natural light because that reveals any excess powder fast. In humid weather, this trick can help a lot, but you still want to blot before you add more powder. If you want extra smoothness around pores, press with a sponge first, then lightly buff the edges. And remember, the best filter is a base that is thin, even, and comfortable on your skin. Next is skin prep, because filtered makeup starts before makeup. Start with clean skin, then apply moisturizer and let it settle. If you wear sunscreen, apply it now and give it time to set. If your skin is dry, a strong oil absorber can cling to flakes, so moisturize well. If you are trying this for the first time, patch test the rosewater and the technique. Test on a small area. Wait, and stop if you feel burning, itching, or swelling. Now I will show you 3 methods so you can choose what fits your skin and routine. Method 1 is great for oily and combo skin that gets shiny fast. Lightly mist your face with rosewater or water, just enough to feel slightly tacky. Do not soak your skin because too much wetness can make powder apply patchy. Dip your brush into cornstarch, then tap off almost all of it. Press the tiny amount into oily zones like forehead center, around the nose, and chin. Press first, then softly blend the edges so it disappears into the skin. Now apply your foundation in thin layers and press it in rather than rubbing. Thin layers create the filtered look, while thick layers emphasize texture. If needed, add a second tiny touch of cornstarch only to the oiliest zones. Finish with a light mist to melt the layers together and reduce any powdery look. Method 2 is best for normal skin or anyone who hates powder under foundation. Do your skincare. Then apply foundation first, using thin layers as usual. After foundation, use cornstarch only on areas that get shiny, usually the T-zone. Then mist lightly to fuse everything and keep the base looking like skin. Method 3 is the smallest change and works great as a spot blur trick. Do your makeup normally, then press a tiny bit of cornstarch around the nose and inner cheeks. Mist lightly and you get a subtle, soft focus effect right where you want it. Now let's tailor this by skin type so you get the best result. If you are very oily, method 1 often gives the biggest difference in longevity. When you touch up, blot first, then press a tiny amount of cornstarch, not layers and layers. If you are combination, keep cornstarch only where you truly get oily, not all over cheeks. If you are dry, treat cornstarch like a spot tool and skip areas that get flaky. For dry skin, the misstep matters because it helps everything sit smoother. If you are acne prone, keep tools clean, use small amounts, and remove makeup thoroughly. If you notice clogged bumps or irritation after testing, stop using the hack. If you have mature skin, remember that too much powder can emphasize fine lines. Under the eyes, use almost nothing. Press gently. and consider skipping powder if it creases. Now, let's talk about deeper skin tones and how to avoid an ashy cast. Cornstarch is white, so the amount must be extra small and very well blended. Keep it targeted, press it in, then mist lightly to help it disappear. If you still see a cast, mix a pinch of cornstarch with your regular tinted powder in a separate container. Now troubleshooting, because most problems come from a few simple mistakes. If your makeup looks cakey, you probably used too much cornstarch or too much foundation. Fix it by misting lightly and pressing with a damp sponge to smooth the surface. If your makeup looks too matte and flat, you likely powdered too wide of an area. Fix it with a light mist and keep cheeks more natural. Then add a touch of cream color if you want. If your foundation separates or pills, the mist may have been too wet or the base was rubbed too hard. Next time, let the mist become tacky, use less powder, and press foundation into place. If you see a white cast in photos, you used too much powder, especially in the center of the face. Use less next time, and always melt the finish with a light mist so it looks like skin. If you feel stinging or itching, stop immediately and wash it off. You can retry later with plain water instead of rosewater if fragrance is the issue. Now, common questions. How long does this filtered look last? On oily skin, controlling oil usually means the base breaks down slower and looks smoother longer. You may still need to blot later, but the fade often looks more even instead of messy. Can you mix cornstarch and rosewater into a DIY liquid primer mixture? You can, but it is easier to mess up, so keep it extremely thin and apply only to the T-zone. Let that thin layer dry fully before foundation and stop if it pills or feels tight. What if you do not have rosewater at all? Use plain water in a fine mist bottle or a setting spray you already tolerate. What if you do not want to use any powder under makeup, period? Use method 2 or method 3 and keep the cornstarch only 4 targeted touch-ups. Here is the core checklist to remember every time you try this. Use less cornstarch than you think you need and keep it only on oily zones. Press. Do not scrub and build foundation in thin layers. Mist lightly at the end so everything blends together and looks like real skin. That is how cornstarch and rosewater can mimic the filtered effect people buy primers for. If you try it, comment your results and your skin type so we can compare experiences. Tell me which primer you normally use and whether this hack beat it for longevity or smoothness. Subscribe for more honest beauty experiments, and like the video if it saved you time or money. Share it with a friend who loves makeup tips, and I will see you in the next video.